Hello friends, welcome back. Hope you're well. I'm in Lightroom Classic today and I'm working on a fall image because it is September now. Fall is right around the corner. Even here in Texas, it's feeling a little bit better weather-wise. And I'm super excited about my favorite time of year. I'm going to be shooting some fall colors in Colorado here pretty soon. And what I'm working on in this video is a fall color image from a couple of years ago when I went to Colorado. So here is the photo. Now in this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can accentuate fall colors and two particular tools I like to use to do exactly that here in Lightroom Classic. Now I've already cropped and straightened the photo and I did some minor adjustments here in Basic, as you can see. So if you look at the before and the after, before and after, pretty minor adjustments, including erasing a few things like street signs or whatever. But this image is one that I really like the idea of. It's an okay image, it's not an amazing image. I like road shots a lot, but I like the color, and in particular, I like the dispersion of color, meaning that there's different shades. There's some yellows and some oranges and some reds and greens, and I like the greens for a particular reason. And what I want to do is walk through how I accentuate those. So again, before and after, and we're going to jump into that. Now there's two tools, as I mentioned, that I really like to use. The first one is Color Mixer. Now in the past, I mean going back more than a year or so, I used to use HSL, where I'd come in and adjust the hue and saturation and luminance of these different colors. The thing is, it doesn't quite give you as much control as point color here in Color Mixer, and that's tool number one. I adore point color. I love it. It's so awesome because all you do is you grab this little eyedropper, you come over here, and the colors I want to accentuate are the oranges, the reds, the yellows, and the greens, right? So I'm going to start by coming over here and you just highlight whatever color you want. Let's say I pick these yellows. As soon as I do that, of course, I have this over here, which allows me to dial in very specifically what I want to do. And what I want to do here is start by just taking this hue and actually go a little bit left. So I'm making those yellows a little bit more orange, and I'm going to give them a little bit of saturation and perhaps a little bit of some luminance. So just kind of brightening, saturating those, but shifting the hue a little bit. So before and after, it gives it a nice little pop, but there's quite a bit more I want to do to that. I'm going to go into the oranges next. So you grab the eyedropper again. I'm going to come over here and kind of get these orangey red kind of colors, maybe that one. That's what's so great about point color is you point at the color, I guess. Pretty accurately named. But this one I'm also going to do slightly left with the hue. So I'm going to take those oranges and make them a little bit more red. Now, I don't recommend going too far. Obviously, that would look ridiculous. That looks like a mask overlay. So double click if you want to reset it. But I'm going to go just a slight bump downward. And then same thing as I did for the orange / yellow, which is drag the saturation and luminance a little bit to the right to increase those. So again, before and after, I'm getting a nice balance of color among those oranges and yellows. And I said reds. The reds to me are kind of in the orange category. It doesn't really matter what colors I'm working with. Your colors are going to be different in your image. But the point overall is that you have these colors and you can target them so specifically. And talking about being specific, one of the things that I think really makes a huge difference when you're editing photos like this is, I said earlier, you have that green. Well, I'm going to go in and get some of that green. So I'm going to find this green, and I'm going to get this one here. So let's call it that color. And what I want to do is, I'm a big fan of color tension or color contrast, and that is creating a difference between some of the colors, because what I often used to do in the past is take the hue of the greens and drag it to the left to make it more orange. But it doesn't really work all the time. Some photos it does. This one, I really like that it's green, and what I want to do is actually make it more green because I'm creating that color contrast. So I'm going to drag it to the right and get away from the kind of yellowy tones there and make it more the green tones, because it creates a difference between that and all the other trees kind of around it. So I like that idea quite a bit. And what I'm going to do is actually take the saturation. I'm going to leave the saturation, but I'm going to take the luminance and go left this time. So I'm going to make it a little bit darker. And you can see what's happening is those greens, by getting darker and greener, it's creating more color contrast, which means those yellows and oranges pop quite a bit more. And I love that. I just think that looks fantastic. So before and after, massive massive difference in color without faking it, right? Without kind of going over the top, crazy kind of, oh my God, look at the colors. I think that looks fantastic. And that's the first tool that I use. Now, before I go into the second tool, there's a couple things I need to do to refine the light. I'm going to go into the masking. And these are going to be super simple. I'm going to start with a linear gradient in the bottom. This was obviously shot in the middle of the day, and I just need to kind of frame the photo a little bit. So I'm going to create a little bit of darkening in the foreground. I want to lead that eye kind of past that first part of the street. And then I'm going to go and do the same thing, a linear gradient in the sky. And I often will use a linear gradient in the sky instead of a sky mask. And that's just because I like to create this nice fade, that transition zone from where the mask is applied to where it isn't applied. So that's going to be slightly darker and perhaps slightly bluer, but maybe a little bit less saturated. And maybe a tiny bit of whites increase just because there are some clouds there and I don't want them to get kind of lost. I still want them to look the way they look. So this mask, before and after, slightly framing the photo, right? It's kind of like a vignette, but I'm only doing the bottom and the top, not doing the sides. So I'm good with that. And the other thing I like to do is when I'm editing a photo like this where there's not really a thing that you're focused on. To me, it's kind of that color and kind of following the road. I like to take a radial gradient and I'm going to plop that pretty much in the center of the photo in a broad kind of expanse like this. And maybe slightly move that up. And I like that nice, generous feathering that's going on to 77. I think that's plenty fine there. And what I'm going to do is slightly brighten the center. So something about like that. And I want to bring up the texture and clarity. Just pop that a little bit. So a little bit more crisp, a little bit brighter, just to draw the viewer's eye a little bit better. So before and after, before and after. I think that looks great. And so my masks overall, before and after, just nice framing of the photo. And my overall photo, before and after, so far before and after, we're getting there. But this is now time to talk about tool number 2, which is great for enhancing fall colors. And that's calibration. If you've been here before, you know I love this tool. It is amazing. So for this one, I'm going to go down to blue. I always start in blue for some reason. It's just kind of habitually how I've started. I'm going to go with an increase in saturation and a decrease in hue. And so all I do here is experiment. There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. Every photo is different. Just experiment, but do experiment. Do play with this because this tool is just absolutely fantastic. For the greens, I'm going to do a slight increase in saturation and an increase in hue as well. You can kind of see what's happening. It's really enriching, I guess is the word, those colors. I mean, before and after, it's getting a bit intense. So you do want to be careful. And I may have gone a little bit heavy-handed. I do like my colors. For the red, I'm actually going to take the saturation slightly down. I'm going to attempt to contain myself here because I like to pop those colors. And a little bit there with increase in the hue. And so before and after, absolutely just amazing little touch of color that adds to the overall scene. So that's what calibration did. One more time. That's calibration before and after. And now let me turn off color mixer, before and after. So before and after. So even if I just had calibration but not color mixer, it would do as quite a good a job. That's why having both of them makes all the difference. That's why these are the two tools I'm using the most in editing my fall photos. But there's one more thing I like to do at the end of a photo like this, and that's back in basic. And, I'm fine with the basic stuff I did, but what I want to do is give it a little bit of dehaze. So I'm going to add this dehaze and watch what happens, especially to those greens. It's creating more color contrast, a bit more vibrance and pop in the color overall, but it's creating a lot of richness over here and darkening those greens. So let me reset that to 0. Just look at those greens. I mean, it frames the sky better. It does such a good job, I think. So there it is. Dehaze is 0, and dehaze, I was at 30, 31, 25, whatever. Doesn't matter, but there it is with it and without it, with it and without it. I like that quite a bit, and that's why dehaze is a great little tool and great move to do at the end of this kind of edit. But overall, before and after, pretty significant bump in color and contrast, and that is due to obviously the color moves that I made with color mixer and also calibration, but also the masking, but also dehaze at the end. So before and after, I love that. And I'm excited to be up there again in a few weeks to take more photos of this amazing part of the country, Southwest Colorado. I'm going to be driving around for about a week chasing fall colors, and I'll be back with videos after that. I'll have more videos between now and then, of course, but as I'm prepping for my trip, I was playing with photos. I thought you might enjoy getting a few tips about how to make them look their best before and after. That's how I do it in Lightroom, my friends. Hope it helps. By the way, if you don't have my free ebook for Lightroom editing, it's down below. It's 17 pages of tips and tricks. Check it out at the link below, and I'll see you next time, my friends. You guys take care. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you soon, and until then, adios.